Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Shelf Comics. I'm Tommy, joined by Murphy.
Hello.
We're back with this week's top 5 comics for September 6th, 2023. They were next week's comics, but now it's this week, so they're this week's comics.
How much time do you spend writing those up?
Zero.
Like in your mind, just like thinking about like where
those pauses,
which one you got to do.
Those pauses in between, then
that's when you do it.
That's when I do it. But starting us off this week, because it is this week's top 5, Dawn of DC, Blue Beetle, number 1.
So Jaime Reyes' graduation is over, but his new life in Palmera City and as the Blue Beetle has only just begun. With 2 new Beetles to train in Dynasties and Nitida, Jaime has his hands full navigating being a leader. Thankfully, he has Paco and Brenda by his side as they settle in at Palmera State University. But what lurks in the shadows of Blue Beetle's new home, and what does it mean for the Blue Beetle legacy? Night Terrors is over.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting back to, the Dawn of DC stuff, which I was super excited about.
Yeah.
And then, obviously we just had the Blue Beetle movie come out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think this is going to be an interesting one to pick up because they're certainly going to be pushing the character to an extent.
Oh, absolutely.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this led into something else at some point soon.
Yeah, I don't.
Plus first appearances.
Yeah, there'll be crossovers. There'll be events.
Something.
Yeah,
there's some pretty sick covers for it too.
Yeah, it's a cool character. I don't think it ever gets enough love, and it's always like, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know, but it's always feels like it's done kind of as an afterthought, like the Blue Beetle stuff. It's like, we don't know what to do, Blue Beetle.
Well, they put, Blue Beetle. The first I had really ever like paid attention was like with Young Justice stuff.
Yeah, same.
He was huge. But I feel like it's a character who's also had a lot of different generations, though.
Sure.
Like different people have held the mantle, but they all still kind of exist in the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like that's interesting. Like it's a character they've made popular.
Sure. Speaking of popular characters, Batman 137 is our number 4 this week. Batwoman, Catwoman, The Gotham War Part 2. So, Murphy and I made our list last week, our top 5. We missed the Batman event.
We did. We missed the Zdarsky Batman.
We're both really busy at the moment. And, mistakes were made, so we're paying our dues.
We're retconning last week.
It should have been in the top 5. So now we have this. Part 2. Batman descends on Gotham City, full of rage and force, more driven than ever to save his home. But the new landscape has turned friends into foes. Can anyone stop his reign of terror? Should they? The Gotham War continues in this second chapter. Because it's the second book. Because we missed it.
It is the second book. You have to go back and pick up Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War. But it seems like a very interesting story. I think it's kind of cool that they're gonna seemingly revisit a lot of the Tom King stuff.
Possibly,
the wedding and things like that. And kind of whatever. Maybe. But no,
there's
it seems
a Bane
like a good
cover. There's a Bane cover, Murphy.
Oh no. But no, I think that this is going to be a cool event. It seems like a decent jumping on point too.
Yeah.
Because it's right after Night Terrors. Seemingly Batman's beaten down, and we're going to get from what I've read, it seems like it's going to be kind of brutal, which is always fun.
Yeah, and it's Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. Like,
yeah, it's Zdarsky.
Just more of that. Thank you. Yes. But moving on to our number 3 this week, we got X-Men, number 26.
So this one's called We're Not Losing an X-Men, We're Gaining an Avenger. The moment we swore would never happen, heck, the moment Emma Frost swore would never happen, is here at last as the Frost Stark knot is tied in Invincible Iron Man number 10. Emma's mutant family reacts to the surprise news. There you go. That's a prelude to a wedding.
Yep, which will continue at the end of the month in Invincible Iron Man number 10. This is a connecting cover, so go take a look at that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, now, I mean, this one is interesting with, like, everything that's happening with the Fall of X.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how, I mean, because, like, the cover makes it look like more than what, you know, happier than it's going to actually end up being.
It's the cover. Covers aren't
I mean, at this point, Emma Stone is, like, in hiding as Tony Stark's apprentice, or not apprentice, assistant.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they fold this in with all the stuff that's happening, you know, how they use it. In reality.
Yeah. And lots of cool variant covers, of course.
Plus, I mean, Fall of X, if you're not reading it, people, just pick stuff up. Random stuff. It's pretty cool.
I do need to
follow it on the app.
Yeah. Okay. So has it started yet? Has Fall of X started on the app yet?
Some of it. I mean, they released like the Hellfire Gala, like as soon as it came out, they released it as an Infinity comic. There's certain things that are out.
I need to read that.
But no, probably I think next month will be when it really starts hitting the app. Like some of the road to the Fall of X.
Oh, okay.
You know, is out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So if you're not picking it up, I mean, we know the X-Men is a huge undertaking.
Yeah, the X-Men is an unlimited thing. Do the unlimited thing with X-Men. Because I'm sure they're all great stories, but it's one of those things where you just gain this amount of information per issue. But there's a lot of them, and it's all
unless you're only an X-Men person. There are those comic fans.
Exactly.
I will say, like,
if you are only an X-Men fan, you are not watching this show probably. All 24 people that watch this every week, let us know down in the comments. Are you an only X-Men person and you still watch this? Like, you don't read any other comics, it's only X-Men. Because I feel like I couldn't keep up just reading.
Or I feel like if you're going to do that, I mean, you just have to abandon everything else in Marvel. Like, you can pick up the DC books you want, and well, yeah, I mean, it's the Avengers and the X-Men together.
Maybe they're trying to get all these X-Men only comic readers to read Avengers. They're like, how can we sell? It's like, hey, I bet you I can sell an Invincible Iron Man comic to X-Men fan. Oh, how are you going to do that? Have Tony Stark marry Emma Frost.
Dude, I hope that one only X-Men fan hits the comments. Just destroys us.
I am here, and there are dozens of us.
There are a few of us.
But moving on to our number 2 this week, we have an image number 1.
Image number 1.
Series premiere, Kill Your Darlings. 8-year-old Rose loves nothing more than to play pretend in a magical land of her own creation. To her, that world is as real as our own. From her fluffy friends to the terrible evil that lurks at the center of it all. In one night, the line between fantasy and reality will disappear. An ancient hunger will feed again, and Rose will be pulled into a gruesome saga that began centuries before her birth. A new epic begins from debut writers Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan, and superstar art from Bob Quinn and John J. Hill.
Image number 1.
Image number 1. Series premiere.
Debut writers, too. That's interesting.
Debut writers. They called it a saga, which usually inclines this isn't going to be like a 12-issue and done.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
They called it an epic, so it is probably going to go long. Yeah.
Oh, no, Gruesome Saga.
Gruesome Saga. New epic.
Is it bad that I love when bad things happen to children in comic books? You know, they just make good stories.
I don't know. I think it can just bring out those inner childhood fears that you experienced when you were young, which makes it fun.
I agree. It makes those things that now seem so small.
Right. Exactly.
Brings them back out.
Exactly. But that's not the creepiest thing on our list. Because we have another image one. Not an image number 1, but a boom number 1. Hunt for the Skinwalker.
So this is a lengthy one. So unidentified flying objects, animal mutilation, terrifying otherworldly cryptids, countless strange phenomena. For more than 50 years, a remote ranch in the Utina Basin has been the most significant nexus for the paranormal. Inspired by one family's confrontation with the unexplainable and terrifying, and what happened when they invited the largest scientific investigation of the paranormal to their ranch. Based on the 2005 groundbreaking, electrifying nonfiction book by Dr. Colm Kelleher and veteran investigative journalist George Knapp, that revealed the captivating true history of Gorman Ranch for the first time, seizing mainstream imagination and inspiring high-profile investigations, documentaries, and genre fiction in various media. Now, working hand in hand with Kelleher and Knapp, and incorporating never before seen new revelations, writer Zach Thompson with Valeria Berzo adapts the category-defying tale in a series perfect for fans of I Hate This Place and the Low, Low Woods. Whew, that was a big one.
So this seems super cool.
Yeah, so seemingly it's based off of this 2005 book, which
with new information. And we just got we just got all this new information, right? So
seemingly. It's been since the book came out. You know, there's still been investigating what's happened at this ranch. So,
right.
I mean, at this point, it's probably a bit of a cult of personality about it, you know, and it seems like, I mean, I'm definitely going to look into it more because I'd never heard of it. And reading this description, it seems sweet. I'll probably actually look into the book first. But I mean, that's cool. I mean, mixing. I mean, we here love horror comics, obviously, you know, but to mix it with the actual real life stories of paranormal investigations, you know, that's bringing real fear to our comic books.
Yeah,
who knows? Pretty interesting. Plus, there's some sick covers.
Well, I mean, it's Martin Simmons. It's Martin Simmons' cover. So, Department of Truth.
Which one is his? Oh yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
But no, this one definitely seems interesting. I definitely want to check out the book though.
I love how like the smokestacks are making like little alien.
The monster space
the more alien. I look at it, the more little things I see, which is kind of cool.
His covers seemingly are, you know, kind of.
Because what you think is just kind of like a blob of ink or color, or it's really just there's something else behind it.
Yeah, it looks like an owl, like a bird too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this one I'm definitely excited for. Keeping up horror in our comic books, man.
Keep giving it. I like it. We're about to enter spooky season, so
it is about to be spooky season. That is true.
So, as we get ready for next week's comics, because they will be here next week, and these comics will be last week's comics, because we'll be talking about next week's comics next week. So hit the like and subscribe, and join us next week for next week's top 5.
See ya.